Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got to look at the Cleveland Tier 7 American Light Cruiser. We got Norm on the screen there. That's the build I use there. That's a incoming dispersion build. You have four things boosting incoming dispersion. You got the Vian Inspiration. You got the Slot 3 perk, which gives you the indicator of ships targeting you. And that version of that ingenious type perk increases the incoming dispersion. Ship camo increases incoming dispersion, and the slot 3 mod, the concealment mod, also does that as well. Concealment mod obviously boosts the concealment of the ship, but as a byproduct and as a helpful byproduct, it increases the dispersion as well. So we have four influences increasing the incoming dispersion. Pretty valuable for these ships. You know, these aren't exactly mobile, agile cruisers, and they're going to be taking some shots here and there. The goal is to stay unspotted, of course, but whenever you do have incoming fire, that dispersion build does help, and it's kind of an underrated build. Anyways, before we move into the game here, we're going to be viewing kind of an aggressive play with the Cleveland this match, but I do want to point out we got some merch up and running. You guys have been kind of asking me a lot lately. Don't have any shirts yet, but we got Dewey Buffer's mug up on the store, so among other things. So if you want to go to the merch section in the description, you can check that out. This is just something I briefly worked on yesterday. We'll work on getting some more offerings in there as time goes on, but anyone interested, I got mine coming in the mail, and a lot of people have been telling me they've ordered them already, so I think they turned out pretty well. We'll see. If you got any interest in that, you can check them out. Anyway, Cleveland, this is like, those of you that watched my Atlanta game the other day, same opening position here. We got the map Greece. Light cruisers, this is a perfect position for the light cruisers. If you're looking for territory, you know, for light cruisers, these kind of low level islands, you know, or any cruiser in fact, it's a valuable position. But the light cruisers, you can park right next to it. The shots go quite vertical. These ships are relatively close range, so they're kind of coming off. They're not going straight up, and the Cleveland's shots, you know, don't necessarily arc as much as the Atlantas or the Smiths or ships with guns of that nature. But, you know, we can still arc these shots over here, no problem. Now, Turpitz, we got some early hits on him. Took some nasty shots, and our friendly Grosser takes him out as well. So we kind of piled on that ship. You want to be looking for... You always want to be doing this, not only in cruisers, all ships really. If you're trying to figure out who to target, you always want to be zooming out. You'll know it pretty much every shot. I zoom out in between. That's to, number one, see if anything's flying at us that we need to be aware of. You can see we do have one ship targeting us currently, so we got to keep an eye on that. But also, it gives you an opportunity to look around. We can check the relative health of the enemies, and if we see better targets, we need to be switching to that. Any ship that's low in HP, you want to be piling on these ships. The decisive action in this game is really important, and you want to be removing ships as quickly as possible. It's very frustrating when you got people on your team and you can see they're zoomed in through the binoculars the entire time. They haven't zoomed out for minutes. They continue to lob shells at a ship they're not really dealing a lot of damage with, and they're not at the rate they're dealing the damage. It's going to take them quite a long time to kill these ships. Meanwhile, if they just switch their focus to a better target, one that you're also targeting or other people on your team, then you can get rid of that ship quickly. That reduces the amount of ships, of course, but that reduces incoming fire against your team, reduces map control, reduces ability to spot, you know, any spotting that ship might have access to just based on the line of sight. So there's a lot of advantages to remove these ships quickly. So we got rid of that. We got the Turpitz, we got the Cleveland. We're not getting the kills, but we're adding our 2 cents to the equation. Now, look on the map here. We're kind of playing pretty well spread out. We got one ship over by D, pretty aggressively positioned. Now, he's got a destroyer last seen near him, so he should be careful. But we've captured A. We're spread out a little bit. We're still kind of behind the bases on our team, although we got some central control. Basically, on these domination modes that are horizontally laid out, you want to be controlling the equator. That's the key spot. That's where all the caps are. That's where the ability to just shut down the enemy team does. But despite our map control being good, not great, red team's horrible. what's going on. We got 3 ships clumped up in relevant positions, but they're all clumped up together, basically in one square north of B. And then we got 2 ships up in Timbuktu, running for their lives, not contributing whatsoever, not valuable at all. Those are not the teammates you want, at least not in terms of what they're doing. And then they have 1 cruiser that's kind of on their cap. Now, they got the destroyer roaming around. That's going to be a problem. But with this Conqueror going down here, we've kind of cleared out this whole side, and we've reduced their map control to about the northeast quarter of the map. Meanwhile, you can make a case they kind of control the northwest, but we're going to push forward here. We're going to try and envelop the team. That's what you want to do. You want to get the enemy team surrounded on multiple sides. That way, if they try and angle towards you, the people on the flank, on the opposite position from you, they got access to the broadside, or vice versa. If the ship's angled towards your teammates, then you probably have access to those. So whenever you get the chance to push forward, that's what you kind of want to do. Now, Cleveland, I usually, when I'm talking about these American light cruisers, I specifically say they're not really meant to be played aggressively. They're not really attacking ships, but when we can get into positions that allows us to extend our range, extend our coverage, or put pressure on the enemy team, we want to be looking for opportunities to do that. Now, we don't want to be sailing around getting spotted, trying to dodge and weave shots in the open water. That's not this type of a ship. That's more of a Megami or perhaps a Martel, ships of that nature. But these American light cruisers, the Cleveland in particular, are mostly doing the island hopping strategy. But that's fine. We're going to push forward here now. The Arizona or the Alaska got a bit of a shot off over there. I wasn't expecting them to be able to do that. And then we're taking a little bit of incoming fire from the battleships. They're really long range, so we're able to dodge a little bit there. But Yamato's shooting you. You don't want to be relying on your dodge ability, especially not in this one. So taking a little bit of damage, not catastrophic. Incoming torps from the Shima. We do need to keep an eye on that. But here we go. We park right here, and now we're getting spotted. Now, the Massachusetts is within 3 kilometers of us, 2.8, so that's likely where we're getting spotted from. Anytime you're within 3 kilometers of a battleship that's tier 6, 7, or legendary tier, you got to assume at this point in time that they're running the slot 3 module that increases the proxy spot to 3 kilometers. So that's most likely was spotting us. The Shima perhaps as well, although now that he's north of the island, we blocked his line of sight. And Massachusetts is for sure the one spotting us. Got to keep an eye on this position because we're kind of backing up, making sure we can stay covered. We're lobbing some shots at the Shima, trying to dodge them. But you see there, from the right-hand side of the screen, incoming Yamato. And this is a very aggressive position. Now, technically, the guy on D, that's a crossfire position. Those battleships, they have access to the broadside to the east. And then we got this Massachusetts who... Not particularly impressed with that position, but that's kind of who we're angled at, that and the Shimakaze. If you're parked behind islands and you notice you haven't shot or you haven't pulled the trigger for like 5-10 minutes, go ahead and move. That's not really an advisable position. But now, we've kind of cleared out the threat there, the near threat to the Massachusetts rushing us, and then we're just trying to keep the center of the ship in between us and these Yamatos. You can see the one to the further east was able to spot us a little bit there. We don't even have a line of sight at the moment, but as long as we're able to really hug that island, we weren't getting full salvos off. We were just getting the back guns going, but that's fine. We're putting pressure, and these are the kind of things, once you get these light cruisers into those difficult positions, they can be really tough to root out. And if you see the enemy team moving forward like that, you do want to push into them because these ships cannot defend themselves. They don't have the torpedo threat. They don't have the armor, the dodge ability. So anytime you got a chance to push this thing safely, go ahead and do it and then blow it up. Because that's, if you let it get entrenched like that, our team did a great job, hammering the enemy team. So that's why this damage, we didn't really need to get a lot of damage this game. Didn't need to get a lot of kills because the teammates were doing a good job with the target selection. But I just wanted to highlight examples of when we're able to push forward a little bit more aggressively. I'm going to try and highlight that just due to the backline Betty play style that a lot of players are adopting right now. what are we doing here? We're not goofing off. A lot of times when people are just shooting randomly, they're goofing off. We're actually testing out where this guy is because we're shooting, and then if the guy has a line of sight to us, you know, then we know he's in between the blue and the white ring, like exactly where he is. The only reason we didn't get spotted when we shot is because that island was blocking the line of sight. Anyway, that's a look at that one for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. And see y'all later. Peace.